All right. Well, welcome to episode one, everyone, of Codecast. So, what this is this was a an idea that I had once upon a time that we should be doing some sort of kind of code vein casting podcast type of a deal, and just to get people interested in the game to talk and theory craft about different topics that are out there in the game and different methods and varieties of builds and different activities and player experiences and some of the glitches and different topics that have been out there. So fortunately today I am joined by C and PseudoDrifter. You can find their information in the description there. But a little bit about them from my experience is that Pseudo is one of the main Code Vein challenge runners of the entire internet from what I've seen, and C is a Dark Souls enthusiast who has thousands and thousands of hours into all three games and knows basically everything about the games as I do most of the things here in Code Vein. So he's kind of my counterpart for an entire different series, but the knowledge and the understanding of what he has is greatly appreciated. So welcome, gentlemen, and if you don't mind, go ahead and take a few minutes for each of you. I guess C, we'll start with you and kind of just give us an intro into your experience with Souls games, kind of how you got into them, maybe some of the reasons you chose the name C for your channel or just for your internet name, and then maybe something about like what you were playing when you were a little kid, if anything at all. And let's go ahead and cue some music here. Nothing like a little bit of dramatic music.
This reminds me of Operation Queenslayer.
That it do. One on one, right? One on one.
Yeah, I guess. So, do I like start right away or something?
Yeah, sure. Just give us a little bit of an introduction of like what's your experience with the Souls games and how far you've gone and which ones you like the best and kind of how those games kind of drew you into that series.
Consult the document. Go through points 1A through 1C.
I know. I'm still in that.
Well, you can always just write them down, you know.
So, how did I get into these game types? I'm not quite sure myself. I just feel like, actually, yeah. I got recommended by a friend, if I recall correctly.
Sometimes friend recommendations can be
About Dark
spotty.
Souls.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so I started trying out Dark Souls as a teenager, I guess. And as for the channel name, I have absolutely no idea what I was thinking. I just slap it on and call it a day.
Sometimes anonymity has its benefits and blessings, right? All right, Pseudo. And what about you? How did you come up with the name Pseudo Drifter? Did you get inspired by something to call it Pseudo, or is it
Yes, actually.
like pseudo being fake?
Exactly. I was inspired by not getting the screen name I wanted. My channel name is the same exact name that I use in basically every platform. It's my same name on Discord, on PlayStation, on Xbox, on YouTube, the whole 9 yards. It's a combination of racing games. That's where the drifter part comes in. But it also was a nod to the fact that I was living on my sister's couch when I first got my Xbox 360. And so I wasn't exactly a transient drifter. I wasn't just your, I wasn't a normal vagabond. I was a fake vagabond, if you can follow me. Mostly though, the name Opossum, my possum, was taken, so I had to think on my feet.
Oh, interesting. How many racing games were you into?
Oh man, I've been playing the Forza series since Forza 2. Before that was Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. I picked up Gran Turismo 2 and played the hell out of it. Oh man, I love that game. But I've been a fan of racing games even back in the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis days.
Oh man, I've never played the Forza anything because I never had a PlayStation. I tried to buy one once when I was a kid, and it just didn't have pan out. One of those PlayStation Minis, the white ones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I had one of them.
I tried to have one, and I had to take it back to the store. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to what you originally asked, I originally got into the Souls-style games with Dark Souls 1. That was actually the free game of the month on Xbox Live one month. And I downloaded it, didn't play it for 6 months because I thought it would be too hard. And then I finally bought the bullet and started playing it, again, at a friend's recommendation. He was stuck on Ornstein and Smo, the infamously difficult duo boss fight, and he just couldn't beat it. And so I was like, okay, let me try this on for size. Let me see what I can do. And come to find out, I liked it more than he did.
Well, it definitely sounds like you both took recommendations from friends for your choice of games here for this entire series, which is interesting because that's the only reason I got into Dark Souls. That for those couple of episodes that we did was just because of the recommendations and Neo 2 and those different things. Code Vein was never a thing for me as an actual game that I was recommended. I just saw a trailer for it one day and I thought, hey, this looks like a cool game. I might as well get it and get into it, and never look back from there. So it was never, the Souls series was never anything that I actually ever played or even got into or even thought about or really even delved into in any kind of appreciable way before Code Vein. So.
Well, Dark Souls had always been on the back burner for me. Not to continue hogging the spotlight or anything, but like I've always been a fan of action RPGs.
You can have as much time as you want. We've got all day here.
we got a lot of time to fill, gentlemen. Let's stretch it out. But like Dark Souls intrigued me because it was a Western RPG made by a Japanese company, and I thought that was interesting, if nothing else. And once I got stuck into it, I really did see Dark Souls is basically what happens if a Japanese developer is given a Dungeons and Dragons book and they just made a game based on what they had. So I was a huge fan of Dark Souls 1, but I really couldn't appreciate Dark Souls 2, not until I played through Demon Souls. It's weird. You can see Demon Souls' DNA spread throughout all the games of the series. It's kind of interesting in that regards. Like they all have interconnected systems. Some games change up those systems. Other games lean into those systems. It's all very interesting. I do strongly still preach that Dark Souls 2 should have been called Giant Souls and should have been its own game rather than part of the main Souls series. But no, well, I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. That Dark Souls 2 is kind of the black sheep of the bunch.
Oh, it's very divisive. It is very divisive. But yeah, Code Vein was not my first Souls style game. No, if we want to be honest, my very first Souls style game was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that was a tough one for elementary school me.
Oh yes, for everyone.
Hard one.
See, do you agree that
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 was kind of an odd one out?
Well, yeah, of course. It's definitely divisive, as Pseudo says. It took a different approach, if I do say so myself.
All right. Well, thank you guys for those intros. We can kill the Blade Baron Cannoneer here.
No! Oh.
And we can get into some real music here with Eva's theme in the background. So we can all go to sleep or wherever you are in the world, and you can just tune in with your earbuds, take a nice nap, listen to us in the background in your ears, listen to Eva sing, and soothe you to bed. So thank you everyone for joining us. Looks like we have quite a quorum here. So again, we're just kind of talking through some of the backgrounds of how we got into different Souls things, if any at all. And I'm the odd one here that didn't really have any access or exposure to the Souls series, but Pseudo looks like he goes back a long way, and C looks like he's got a lot of experience in a very short amount of time. So good to have you guys both here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to have you guys. So what were some of your predecessors to the Souls games that that laid a foundation? You obviously mentioned Ninja Turtles. For me, it was really nothing. I hadn't really played anything like it, and because my backstory was more along the lines of like Pokemon and a lot of like Mario type things. Super Mario 2 on the Game Boy, a lot of Game Boy everything. And then I was a PC player for a long time doing things like Descent and Warcraft and Starcraft and those kinds of games. But nothing really in the Souls vein genre of games. So it was definitely a different feeling all around, where, you know, these heavy committal attacks, your stamina regen, so many things to think about, and it was quite brain taxing for me. But definitely Ninja Turtles was a good one for sure. How about you, C? Sorry, did I cut out there? I think we have some latency issues going around the world, because I think we're like 12 or 13 hours difference, so we're getting to satellites and back, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's a shark chewing on the cable under the ocean.
Goddamn sharks!
Goddamn sharks!
All right, well, Pseudo, how about you? Other than the Ninja Turtles?
Well, ever since the original Xbox Fable, I've been a fan of action RPGs. I just thought Fable was the coolest game in the world right when it came out. But my gaming focus was pretty wide in scope. I played a lot of different games, and I was terrible at all of them.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, like I think the first time I really actually wanted to buckle down and give myself a challenge was to beat the first 3 Halo games on the hardest difficulty possible, Legendary. And I did that, and I was very pleased with myself for it.
Oh man, yeah, I did Halo 1 on Legendary. That was definitely incredible. I love doing that. That was amazing.
Oh, I cheesed so much stuff. It was not even funny. I feel like I got a free pass with that one. It was just try to do this one stupid technique for 30 minutes and get lucky once and make it to the checkpoint.
Yeah, there's really nothing for Halo 1. It's all about abusing the jump mechanics and the blast radii of the rocket launcher and the grenades. Those are absolutely ridiculous. But those are like not. I mean, it's interesting that it's a shooter, but because of the difficulty spike of their auto aimbot everywhere, it feels like a Souls in a way. You know, just that difficulty.
I wouldn't say that. Like, if it was a true Souls game, little stupid young me probably wouldn't have been able to handle it. But
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I say a little. It's been actually, I don't want to think about how many years ago that was. But I was out of high school at the very least whenever I attempted that undertaking. But I don't know. There's just something about Dark Souls that grabbed me, and Souls-like games in general. I've got plans to continue playing a few more Souls-likes, including Bloodborne and eventually The Surge. So those are... I've found my calling. I found my niche. Difficult, third-person, stamina management, middle attacks, good old Souls hack and slashing.
Would you say that's your most favorite type of game, or is that just something that you landed on? Would you rather play your racing games, or is that not as engaging as something like the Souls?
Well, racing games have always been a special place in my heart. They like Gran Turismo way back on PlayStation, Forza on Xbox, and even now, I still have at least a racing game that I will occasionally put hours into. It's I've spent the effort of learning how to race these real world tracks, and so I kind of want to keep up on the keep ahead of the curve so I don't get rusty. I mean, the Nürburgring from Gran Turismo back on PlayStation is the same Nürburgring on Forza Motorsport 7 on Xbox One. It's the same real world racetrack, so it's a nice bit of familiar territory in that regards. Plus, racing games were the only games I could beat my sisters at. My sisters were better at me in every other game except racing games. My family didn't have a lot of money, so we had like 3 games.
See, I only had one brother, and he didn't play anything with me because there's quite a few years between us, and so it was just me kind of playing by myself. So I had to buy 2 Game Boys to trade between Pokemon Red and Blue. So I had to do a bunch of those kinds of things for my own benefit.
You had to multi-box Pokemon?
Yep.
Nice.
And then you had to hope that the battery in the cartridge didn't die, that your save didn't get destroyed.
Oh no!
Oh man, yeah. So I am way far away.
To me.
The what? Sorry.
Adult age.
Knowledge. Yeah, well, life, the more years you have, the more knowledge that you gain and you pick up, and then you get to a certain point in your age, and then you start losing it all, right? So it'll happen.
To that. I can attest to that. Oh god.
Oh man, so why did you guys actually get into Code Vein? What was it about Code Vein that actually brought something extra to the table, or something different, or was it just because it was in the Souls variety that was of something of interest?
I'll let you go ahead first on this one, because I wrote down a lengthy answer and I just need to find it.
Oh, it's a mix of both, really. It's just, let's just say, back then, I was still into anime, and yeah, I just saw it, so I just kind of like gave it a try, and well, I fell in love with it, really.
And anime is fair. That is definitely, I think, a big reason for a lot of people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And
how many times did you actually go through Code Vein? Did you did you actually beat it on max difficulty and everything, or did you kind of just go through and then figure that it was just another Souls-like?
Well, I wouldn't say I went max difficulty. I just have a habit of putting more and more restriction on my builds. That's all.
Ah, yeah, that's the nice thing about Code Vein, right? Is that you can completely customize it to how you wish to play. If you want to try something different, you can flip things and switch things on the go, and it becomes pretty easy. Not easy, but it becomes easy in the regard that you can switch things around, which is pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
We got a couple of comments in the chat here that surface level appeal was anime Souls. I think that was probably the most commonly referred to review title for for basically any reviewer. IGN and all the crazies, and then all of the average level gamers out there that were giving their reviews. I think that was the title that I saw more than anything else. It's literally Dark Souls with an anime cover over it. So, see, I think you're definitely on the right track there. Are you not into anime anymore, or is it something that you're not into now, or was that just a phase of life?
I'd say I'll mix. It's a bit of a phase in life, like a few years ago, but I don't know. I just don't spend that much time binge watching anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I never saw any anime until I played Code Vein, and then I was like, what is anime? And then I watched Ruby, and I was like, I think I got a short end of the stick on what real anime actually is.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Ruby?
Ruby isn't exactly half bad. Like it's an American
not
anime.
half, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know what to compare it to, so I'll just leave it to the experts to deal with that. So, Pseudo, how about you? Why Code Vein? What drew you in first?
Well, about oops, lost my answer. About 2 years ago or so, from this point in recording, I started getting really fed up with the Dark Souls player base. Like I hated playing Dark Souls, but I didn't really have anything else I wanted to put my time into, and I really wasn't broadcasting very much. Sure, I do Code Vein PV. I mean, not Code Vein. I do Dark Souls PvP streams every once in a while, but it was never ever anything constant. So I was looking for a different game to play. But then I got an email about this new game. Rather, a couple of Dark Souls YouTubers that I would follow posted some videos about the game, and I was like, okay, all right. And I remember thinking to myself, man, this is gonna be a pile of garbage. You can't. It's just gonna be flashy animations. It's gonna be hacking and slashing. It's not gonna be like the Souls I want. And then I got word that you could turn off the flashy animations, and I was like, okay, color me interested. And I signed up through email for the network test, and I was one of the few people who was able to actually get into the Xbox network test. A friend of mine, good old Soul Eater, he wanted to get in too, but he didn't fill out the form in time, and so I couldn't give him my code so we both could play together. But that's how it goes.
That's interesting because I always, I saw a lot of those beta testers and the all of that demo stuff, and I was like, man, that would be wild to like get a game as a demo or something like that, and I didn't realize it was kind of that simple actually. Seems like it's definitely not as involved as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of crazy in some regards. Like I was just actually at my folks for Christmas, and just filled out the email on a whim. And then when I got back in town, when I got back home, I was accepted. They needed more Xbox testers, and so I fit the bill.
That's interesting.
And I got in there.
Because I always thought it was for
crazy.
like the rad brads and the, you know, those kinds of folks out there where it's like, oh, you need 20 million subscribers before you are actually somebody to get access to an early game or something. But
Well, there's a difference between the review copies and network testing. Network
Sure.
testing, you want as many bodies as you possibly can get in there. That's why the Dark Souls Remastered had an open network test. They wanted to stress test that bad boy as much as they could, so it was free to download. Anybody could jump in for like a weekend and play to their heart's content, even though it was just one area. It was all just about invading and summoning and grave lording and all that other nonsense.
So when you bought Code Vein, did you have like competing games for your attention and for your dollars? Was it like an obvious choice that obviously you're going to buy Code Vein, or was it more of like a choice between that and something else?
For me, I didn't have a lot of money to spend, and so once I got my hands on the network test and played it, I loved the game. Like the combo system was amazing. It flowed beautifully. It's basically you have access to a wider toolkit of moves compared to Dark Souls 1. And I just wanted more of it, and so I decided I was going to get that game. If nothing else, I'm going to get that game. And so I bought Code Vein instead of getting a PlayStation, and so about yeah, like I wanted it that bad.
Wow, that's dedication and commitment right there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't I didn't have to save too much more, but yeah, it was basically that. So I played the demo. I loved it even more. I got to experiment with a few things I couldn't do in the network test because I ran out of time, and I was ready. I was ready for Code Vein's release. I wanted.
See, were you that hard up for getting Code Vein, or was it just because it was another Souls like that got you to purchase it?
Well, I've been a fan of anime. I am unashamed of being an anime fan. So that aesthetic helps draw me in more. But just getting my hands on the game, that's what really sold me on it.
No, not you, Pseudo. C.
Oh.
Anyway,
I can listen. Trust me, I can listen. I'm speaking for you.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you had the same exact experience. I
You know, it's good. Yeah, he's right.
See,
I'm
okay.
speaking for the both of us now.
I guess that was a good enough answer overall. We got another question here in the chat from Demondre asking when's another Neo 2. No Neo 2. That is we're just gonna leave that there. Anyways, so yeah, for me, I had the choice between God Eater 3 or Code Vein, and that was kind of my first exposure to seeing something that was an anime aesthetic. And the God Eater series looked kind of cool. It looked pretty interesting in how it handled, how it played, kind of the fast in and out of combat, kind of watching a whole bunch of different aspects all at once. And then that looked really awesome, but it looked kind of short because you had to play like a mission and then stop, go back to a lot of exposition and story, and then walk around like a hub world type thing, and then choose another mission and then go back out and have like, you know, it felt very like a heroin addict where you had a high and then you had a low and then you had a high and then you had a low and then a high and then a low, and that just didn't seem like something that I was gonna enjoy. But then but then I saw Code Vein kind of at the same time because they released pretty close to each other back in 2019. And I believe it was like a month apart or something. And I waited for Code Vein, and I was like, yeah, I definitely made the right choice going to Code Vein, because it's like constant action, or it's as fast action as you wish it to be. So you can either be in the fight and going crazy, or you can take it slow and methodical. So that really appealed to me, that you had variety in the choice of your play style rather than being locked into a certain type. What are you guys talking about in the chat there? Oh, good
Don't
grief.
worry about it.
No
Don't
more,
worry about it.
No more Neo 2 anything. No, never.
I said, don't worry about it.
I'm not going to worry about it. I'm never going to worry about Neo 2 ever again. That is not something I'm ever going to spend brain cells thinking about.
You just did.
Well,
You
okay.
fool.
Yes, I fell victim to one of the 7 blunders.
You know what's funny about Code Vein and being enthusiastic about picking it up? I actually changed the time zone on my Xbox so that I could play it earlier.
Really? That's actually possible?
Yeah. I set my Xbox. What is it? I set the time zone for New Zealand so that I could play it the moment it dropped.
Oh my goodness.
In fact, I installed it early and had like a midnight release party stream.
Now that's definitely an enthusiast. I was nowhere near that, so kudos to you.
You could say I'm obsessed. It's all right. I can feel it behind your eyes. I know it. I know what you're thinking.
The mic is sending only the filtered version of what I'm saying, so. Oh man, that's funny stuff. So when you guys
that far, you might as well get the game for free.
Sorry, you didn't get the game for free?
No, I'm saying if he's going to go that far, he might as well get the game for free at that point.
Oh yeah, I mean, why not? Bamco, that would be awesome.
Arf.
Wouldn't that be cool? Get the games a little bit early, get them for free, kind of play through them and stuff. Oh man, that would be absolutely amazing. So when you guys were hit with the opening scenes of the game in Code Vein, you got the name screen and the character creator, and then you do training, and then you see EO. How did that train of events for an intro actually? How did that hit you as an intro to a game? Was that good introduction? Was that bad introduction? Was that something you'd like to see repeated, that kind of formula, or would you rather see something different?
I feel like I've been talking too much, so I'm gonna shut up.
This is a podcast. The point is to talk.
Yeah, but I don't wanna talk too much and be that guy.
Well, if you're not talking, then I'm talking, or C's talking. So I mean, somebody's got to be talking because people are listening. They're not watching.
Anyways, about that opening scene, I'd say it's fine. I don't have much opinion on the whole thing, really.
Just fine. Like, it didn't evoke any kind of emotions from you or anything.
Absolutely not.
That's fair. I put out a post the other day of what people thought about seeing EO at the beginning, and it seemed like there was quite a bit of like excitement, just the fact that she was there, and then it kind of turned into one of the characters that people loved. As the game went on, obviously for different reasons, but her character actually, I think, was a good intro, just for the fact that it gave you somebody that was with you through the entire game, and it gave you a grounding from the very beginning that you weren't alone in this place. Whereas in Dark Souls, like, you just feel very isolated and alone, and there's like nothing you can rely on at all,
Right. I'll be honest. She felt awfully fan servicey for me, but then she became a partner and a damn good one at it. So I quickly pushed that thought to the back of my mind. She's a powerful ally, and I think that's one interesting part is how she goes from frail and defenseless and honestly very clueless to being a capable and dangerous ally to have at your side.
And then you meet
As
the
opposed-
attendant of the relics who hits like a truck if you're not careful. And then you're
Look,
like, whoops.
I've never died to the frenzied attendant. Not once, ever.
Not once ever?
No, not once ever. And don't you dare go look at the swords only playthrough. Don't you? I never died to her ever.
Uh-huh.
She's weaker than me.
Nobody's ever died to her, right?
Right.
But with that 30% resistance on / pierce and crush, I mean, that's one of the highest resistances of any kind of any boss in the game. So she's right below like Virgin Born. So hats off to her.
Really?
That
Yeah.
high resistant?
Yep.
Yeesh.
Yep. She just doesn't have the health pool to back it up. So the Skull King at the end of his phase 5, he just then gets 30% / pierce and crush resist, and so at the end he and the attendant are on par with their resistances to each other. It's just she staggers so easily, and then she just doesn't have the health pool. So if she had upwards of like 100,000 HP, she would be one of the harder bosses.
Or hell, if they throw 2 of them at a time at you.
Yeah, 2 is pretty rough as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So were you?
Trials.
Yeah, the Tower of Trials number 3. Oh my goodness, that when you drop in on them, you kind of feel bad, but then at the same time, you mess up once and you're just gone. They absolutely are ridiculous when there's 2 of them.
See, now my problem is I almost always bring Io with me no matter where I go if I have partners. So all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, why is Io chasing me instead of fighting them? And then I'm dead because it wasn't Io at all.
Incognito.
No.
Incognito attendance. Oh man, yeah.
Incognito. All right, I'm sorry. I wasted your brain cells on processing that.
This stream is sponsored by NordVPN. Please sponsor us.
Oh really? Oh man, that's funny. So were you guys aware of the delays for Code Vein when it was first announced to the time that it actually released? There was like a 2-year delay. Did you guys know about that?
I'd heard that there was a delay, like, but that was also about the time before they announced you could disable the flashy animations. So I was only somewhat interested. I was like, oh, okay. But man, I was really feeling I was really feeling the delay after I got my hands on the network test. Honestly,
Oh, really?
100. Yeah, like I didn't even realize it was incredibly delayed until after the network test came out, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I think it was supposed to come out like 2017, 2018, something like that, and then they said no, we're not done yet, and then it was like, oh man, it's gonna be a long time before this comes out, because they said it just didn't feel right or something, and between the actual delay point in time and the beta that came out, they actually changed things even from the beta to the point when it actually released. So they were changing things right up to the end, which maybe that was good, maybe that was bad, but yeah, it looks like Megatech in the chat here was aware of the delay as well. So it wasn't widely known, which is why I didn't know anything about it until after I kind of saw the delay point, because they came out and said, "Oh, no more Code Vein." I know there was a huge uproar in the community about it. That are we ever gonna get Code Vein? You know, it's like the continuation of God Eater, and I was like, "What is God Eater? What is Code Vein? I don't know anything about what you're talking about." So it was pretty interesting to see that delay happen because they had hyped it up so much that it was going to be, you know, this awesome anime, you know, difficult game, and then all of a sudden it was just like, nah, that's not going to be a thing, and then it was just like revolt among the peasants. Oh man.
The player base almost booked tickets to Japan and stormed the office, huh?
Oh, I'm sure there were definitely some people that were camping out. I don't know about that, but I would imagine that they were pretty hot under the collar for that, for sure.
Mm.
But so kind of a dumb, obvious question, but do you guys both still play Code Vein today? Pseudo, we know you, but see, how about you? Do you play Code Vein still, or what was something, if you don't, what's something that took its place for you?
I may or may not have messed around too much yesterday and died to attendance.
Oh no! No!
Well, in
She
that
claims
case,
she claims another victim.
then
Her bloodlust
excellent.
cannot be sated.
Yeah, that is for sure. So what still brings you back to Code Vein C? Is it something about the playstyle? Is it something about the world? Is it something about the actual game itself?
Is it crazy challenge runs with self-imposed rules? Cough, cough.
It's actually both of you, actually.
Oh,
In terms of challenge run and Owen's crazy builds. No shade.
Really? You like it that much? Oh my goodness. Well, very humbled on that comment for sure.
Prometheus Stunner definitely was a hell of a lot of fun, really.
Yeah, that was quite a find when I started putting that together. I was like, wait a minute. You can hit things so much and stand there on 1 bar of stamina and just completely delete bosses. What is this? I just had to share it.
that sounds like some Red Shoes shenanigans.
Nope. It's Prometheus. So it's
Really?
incredible. Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Damn.
So yeah, when you have up over 400 stamina, and you can attack bosses at 25 slashes at 5% on Blade Dance, that gets you a doubling of your damage. When you have Jack, that's another doubling of that doubled damage, and then yeah, it just gets out of hand really quick.
Jesus. I've been so busy editing videos. I need to catch up on some of this stuff.
Oh, they're all in the
I'm
playlist,
the worst
so
viewer.
you're fine.
Okay,
You're
all right.
fine. They're all in playlists everywhere, so you can always catch up. There's never
Hey, what the 911? Oh, sorry.
huh? Oh, in the
I was
chat.
saying
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
It's good. I think we have like
Citizen.
12 or 13 people here, so it's really nice to
Woo!
have kind of a quorum.
Oh, sure. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're having a party here. I might
Oh, there.
be
Interesting.
might be glancing over there every so often.
Glancing where?
I might be glancing over at the chat every once in a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please do if you see something of interest.
Yes. Hello to everyone.
So, C or Pseudo, for you guys, was your first playthrough of Code Vein completely blind, or did you actually watch something before you actually picked up the game and started playing it?
Mostly blind, actually. And up until the legendary cathedral.
Then you
And
had
after
then
that,
you had to
back
look
to
up some
being-
guides or something?
Yeah, kinda.
I don't blame you.
Did you fall in that infamous hole?
No.
We all did.
I think everybody fell in that hole.
Does.
And they put some shinies
Yes,
around there, so it's like, oh,
Ooh, tiny. Oh,
Yeah, but did you guys fall in the same hole 3 times? Because that's my claim to fame. Yes, I played very blind.
I've done.
very often. Yeah, uh, and
I
you
was
and you fall in the hole
I didn't
repeatedly.
even use them.
Yeah, I remember falling in that hole like back to back because I just didn't learn my lesson, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the stairs with the hole at the end of it, because they have an equally identical stairs that doesn't have a hole in it. So if you get confused, you just fall in and you get angry.
Oh, and the cathedral is made to be confusing. Like it
Yep.
even fits within the lore of the game. It is just a defensive bulwark that's also a labyrinth. Like that's supposedly what happened to all the lost there. Besides the cathedral attendant white chicks that can teleport,
Hmm.
just your average little baby trash mobs, or just treasure hunters that got lost and never made their way back out.
Yeah. And that's pretty amazing that the frustration of it, is part of the game lore.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, C?
I always like it.
I was just saying, like, is the Argent Wolf Berserker also the last one as well? Or is it a guarding?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like he was one of the he was like the captain of the guard, and then he managed to get lost,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's just angry, and he kills everyone.
Captain what now?
The captain of the guard, the guy in charge of all the teleporting cathedral knights. At least that's what I assumed. Even he got
Yeah,
lost.
sure.
He said, "I'm gonna sit right here and not go anywhere," and then he
The other
frenzied.
ladies were like, alright, I'm head out.
Yeah, yeah. All the other chicks are like, "This is stupid. He's just going crazy. We're out of here."
And it's very fitting, because most of the time that's our response to them as well. You get involved with them a little bit, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm out of here. Never mind. I'm not doing, I'm not doing anything with these people." And then you just run to a missile and hopefully de-aggro them.
Yeah, we all know that doesn't happen. They'll
No.
teleport to you forever.
Yeah. Oh man. They do have like if you get far enough away and they teleport, they can infinite track you, and so you have to get beyond that teleport range for them to actually de-aggro or get to a missile. Like as soon as they start teleporting and you're running, that is when it's bad, bad, bad news. So, yeah, it's better, sometimes better to just stay and fight or just die. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So my first playthrough, because I didn't be I work a job, and my first playthrough was very not blind, but I didn't know what I was actually watching. So Fightin' Cowboy put together a playlist where he was doing like 100% run, his first run through it, and I had no idea um, like how in the world you could do a 100% run when it's your first time through the game. But because of like review copies and stuff, he'd already played through the game several times and whatever, and made notes about it. And I was like so annoyed by that he could make a 100% run of a guide the first day the game dropped. And I was like, how in the world can you do that? But I watched his stuff, and obviously it was like, what in the world is gifts and iCore and attendance and blah blah blah, all this stuff, and teleporting and stamina and everything. So it didn't really help me to actually understand anything the first time through. But yeah, Fightin' Cowboys playthrough, 100% playthrough was my first exposure to it, even though I had already bought the game. But because I was at work, I would just watch him play, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to go home and try it.
Nice. He makes good content. He's a big name.
Yeah, after Code Vein, though, I lost interest in it. So I'm a simple mind.
Owen.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, typical of Owen.
Oh yes.
yeah.
Once my code vein is over,
Yep. You know me too well at this point.
no longer code vein, I'm subbed.
Yep. Oh man, I guess there's a question for Pseudo. What's been your most enjoyable and memorable run?
The most enjoyable? I think the most enjoyable one was the Pacifist Challenge. that one was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing because I did not expect Lewis to pull through the way he did. He was a real lifesaver. For those curious, double overdrive Lewis is a beast. When he casts overdrive on himself and then you cast overdrive on him, dear God, watch out.
Only on 0 star though.
Oh, right, Oh, Mr. Road to 100 stars. You're right about that. You are very much right about that. But all of my challenge runs are done on 0 star. I like making new characters. And, I'm just familiar with what 0 star has to offer. Similar to how, you're used to playing at max difficulty.
Yeah, you do get used to certain play styles just because of the difficulty changes, and I mean it's really interesting that the game has that potential to be a certain way on 0 star, and then a completely different game of different concerns that you have on max difficulty, and I think that's one of the draws for me, for real, is that you can play it however you wish. Because a lot of games, when they go to New Game Plus, it's like the same thing. It's just, better upgrades and stuff. You don't actually, get more difficulty or get more access to the same things,
Yeah. With fresh characters, you don't get you have to limit yourself. You can't have every gift at your disposal, so you have to be a little bit more strategic in what you farm and when you farm and how much you farm.
Oh, absolutely. And Death Killer says that it's a question for all of us, I guess. So I guess for me, the most memorable and enjoyable run would be probably the gifts only at this point. Definitely. There's another run that's coming up next week that Pseudo and I have been kind of brainstorming and hatching in a sort of the background, I guess. He had an idea for it. I had a different idea for it. We're kind of coming to a consensus on it to see how it's going to be. But that one will definitely be the most memorable for sure. It won't be the most enjoyable, but it'll definitely be the most memorable.
Oh no, I don't think we've talked about C. I talked about this to C, but it's such a bad idea. I want to go on record for saying it's such a bad idea.
It is. It's a bad idea, but we're gonna do it.
Like borderline impossible.
Oh no.
But it's okay. The most enjoyable, I think, was the gifts only for sure for me, because it really makes you think. Go ahead, Pseudo. What was that?
Oh, I was just going to talk about the memorable run was the first time I went through with Concrete Club only. It sucked. It sucked so hard I had to cheat and then go back and do it again properly. But yeah, your idea is just a bad one. I think it's a horrible idea.
It's pain, but it's something no one's done. So, and there's reason.
True.
So.
For good reason.
Yep. Oh man.
Any challenges where I had the most fun with my chat? Honestly, I don't want to sound corny or cheesy, but pretty much all of them. Like I really enjoy interacting with chat, so it doesn't matter which challenge I'm doing. I'm usually having fun. There have been streams where I've rage quit. I just get curb stomped into the pavement, and I'm like, all right, we're done for the day. But I just enjoy streaming. So when we went, not even with Code Vein, but there's been a few other amusing streams, not in Code Vein, where chat really elevated the enjoyment. And I'm sure the same can be said for Owen as well.
Yeah, I do enjoy my comment section.
You made it along the way.
Sorry, C, what was that? I cut you off.
Nothing. I just say the true challenge run was a friend we made along the way.
Yeah, making the friends is the challenge, right? and making friends in Code Vein, that's even a more difficult challenge. So I'm happy to have the little community that we do, because it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. So how many hours did you guys first spend on your first playthrough? Were you the typical 30 hours like everyone else, or was it faster or slower?
God. Definitely slower. I think I wanted to actually put together the math on it, but I went through completely blind at level 1 the entire way through. I did have a partner with me, but that did not help the fact that I was completely inexperienced. I spent a lot of time, so 30 hours. 30 hours would be generous. I want to say I spent maybe between 40 and 50 hours thereabout.
Yeah, I think I was along those same lines. That sounds about right. It was a pretty long first playthrough for me, for sure.
Oh, definitely. I did spend around like, what was it again? I think 60 hour. Totally because I was messing around too much.
Well, that is a big part of the game, right? Is experimentation, trying to understand
Yeah.
what's going on, what's happening, what did I just do, what did I apply, so on and so forth. Yeah, and tomorrow.
Why are they chasing me? Where do I go?
Yeah,
Where am
exactly, exactly. And tomorrow I've got the master equation coming out, and we only cover the actual weapons. We don't actually cover the gifted weapons, because that's even a more confusing thing, because as you start applying gifts on a gifted weapon, your multipliers actually go up, and then they start to slowly taper off back down. And so it's a very strange one, and that's why that's where sometimes you can really get confused, is like, what in the world am I actually looking at? What's happening? What am I calculating? What is in front of me? Like that can really eat up a lot of time. Like that master equation, I think it took me like 2 or 3 months to mess around with, and I finally got it to a point where you can actually explain it. So yeah, Code Vein is not intuitive by any means. So spending a lot of time on your first time through, if you're not doing just Y-hander bonk, you're definitely doing something different than most everybody in your first playthrough, for sure.
Like,
Still
honest.
do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people still continue to use the Y as one of the most common weapons as soon as they pick it up in the ruined city.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, people on Reddit usually recommend the Fortified Y because it's pretty much easy mode for brand new people.
Of course, it's Reddit.
Yeah,
Hey,
I saw
that's my
some.
home away from home.
Yeah, for you, Pseudo, definitely not for me. Yeah, I saw somebody posted the other day that, like, oh, we need to nerf this Y because it's like this most overpowered weapon or whatever, and I was like, the gifted pipe can be pretty overpowered, so what are we gonna do about,
What?
so...
Yeah, once you start piling some buffs on the pipe, it becomes stupidly effective. Hilariously effective, even.
How effective are we talking about?
Like, I think I got it up to about 4,800 per swing on the pipe, and it literally deletes bosses that are weak to crush, and even things that...
What?
Sorry?
Excuse me, but what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It becomes really stupid. When they introduced volley into the game from DLC 3, it literally broke everything to do with the pipe.
Yes. Ollie.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it looks like Scrambled got a question for us. What are our all favorite areas? Well, my favorite area is the cathedral. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but I don't care. I think it's a really good area.
Hey, you just get all that controversy.
Yeah, sure. That's right.
Get it out there and over with.
That's right.
Death Killer, you go home. The Rebar Club is garbage. But to answer the question that Scrambled asked, I kind of like Bernie Kitty City. I do kind of like Bernie Kitty City. It kind of sucks the constant barriers that just damage you a lot if you bump into it. But as for the aesthetic, I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because it's like you're trying to pick your way through ruins that are actually actively dangerous, as opposed to just something that's really snowy or something that's really sandy or something that's really damp. In the case of Ashen Cavern. Speaking of Ashen Cavern, it's pretty okay too.
Dampness and gangrene are the active killers in the Ashen Cavern.
Oh yeah, Death Killer's got another good question. What are our favorite DLCs? I actually really liked the first
Owen
one.
would say, I'm sure Owen would say the second one.
So actually, I really enjoyed the level design of the second and third DLC because they were a little darker. They had a lot of hidden paths. They had destructible routes where you could make different paths. They had enemies that were hiding in destructible environments and stuff, and you didn't really know where your next encounter was. I thought that was a nice change from basically everything else in Code Vein, where you see something, and you know that that's your enemy right in front of you. But the DLCs were really good about like ganging up on you with surprise attacks, and I thought that was really clever. And they should have made more use of that in the base game, and in having like kind of jump scare invasions that weren't invasions but just more enemies. And I really enjoyed that. But then I didn't really enjoy the boss fights overall. Hellfire Knight was pretty good. I really enjoyed that, but after a certain point, you just stop playing the DLCs for the bosses, because you've done the challenges, you've gotten all the face paint that you never use, and then what do you do from there? Yeah, unless you're Red Army, I guess. Then you just go fight the Hellfire Knight for fun.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Which areas were your favorite in the DLCs?
I enjoyed the combat of Hellfire Knight the most. Like the shape-shifting lightning bugman. I thought that was an interesting fight. He switches back and forth. Even though it's glitchy as hell, it's still a really interesting fight. Like the fact that he goes between melee and caster and swaps back and forth, and you gotta kind of think on your feet and do what's right. You have to either keep at a distance and block with the anchor in the middle of the arena, or you move in for a kill, and all that stuff. But Frozen Empress,
that's fair. That's very fair.
and Hellfire Knight himself it's just a solid, good fight. It really does feel like a slobber knocker. Like it feels like a duel between you and fearsome beast. Like it whereas Frozen Empress was just cheap, like game mechanics, like almost like raid boss.
We don't talk about Frozen Empress here.
Yeah, we don't talk about Frozen Empress. Lord of Thunder, he's just cheap. He swipes twice.
Yeah.
And he likes to jump on your head.
Oh my gosh.
He likes to jump on your head.
That's how much I hate that guy.
Yeah, Lord of Thunder has replaced Mito as my least favorite boss in the entire game. I just seriously struggle with trying to get the pipe with Lord of Thunder, but not so much with the other ones. Frozen Empress, you can fire spam her to death, so it's not so bad. But
yeah,
Lord of Thunder,
I agree.
He's a mean one. But
so Megatech's got a question for us. Reflecting back on the DLCs, they were kind of a letdown, but how do we feel about them now? I think we're kind of discussing that, but I feel like they didn't age well into the long-term portion of the game, but what they offered as far as rewards and from the blood veils, the blood codes, the weapons, those kinds of things. Not really the challenges, but the actual loot that you get from them. It's definitely worth picking up if you enjoy the game. But as far as the actual longevity of how much you actually play through them, I think they didn't age well into what is it now, a year and a half almost beyond when they were released. What do you guys think?
You know, I somewhat resent that remark because I always enjoyed the DLCs, even when everybody was crapping all over them right when they were first released. They were like, "Is this all we get?" I was like, "Well, I loved it. It didn't exactly offer a whole lot in terms of lore, but it was exactly what I was looking for. I ate up everything Code Vein had to offer, and I still wanted more. And that's what the DLCs were. They were more Code Vein. They were a little extra spice. Not enough to make an entire meal out of, mind you, but they were a very, very welcome dessert. To put that in another light. So I've always said if the DLCs go on sale or if the deluxe edition goes on sale, pick it up. If you're an enthusiast of the game, if you're not a huge fan of Code Vein, you only play through it once just to see what it's all about, then no, don't bother with the DLCs. You're gonna feel like it's wasted money.
I think it's fine, but it's not that spectacular, but it's not that bad either. It's definitely a decent on repeated playthrough.
So Pseudo, on that note, why don't you put the DLCs into your challenge runs? I mean, if they offer so much, then why would you keep them out?
Frozen Empress and Lord of Thunder. That's exactly why.
Trying
to beat them with only drain attacks. I'm not actually good at the game. I just play it a lot. There's a very fine line to be drawn here. I'm not actually good at Code Vein. I just play it a lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's a fine line between challenge runs and insanity.
Yes, thank you. Very well said, C. Very well said.
The challenge is insanity.
Scrambled had a good question for us. Favorite blood codes? I like this one because I can go on for a very long time about blood codes.
So I cannot answer this question because it's too situational, and Code Vein is very situational. Because if you say what's my favorite blood code, or the go-to blood code, my answer is absolutely going to be the same every time. What am I doing? What am I fighting? And then I'll tell you what blood code for that for that scenario, because there's no way I'm just going to say, oh, it's Ishtar for everything, and then leave it there, because it doesn't have Blade Dance, it doesn't have Final Journey, it doesn't have a lot of these, it doesn't have Sacrificial Edge, it doesn't have any of the uniques really except Deliverance, and so it really is kind of a tricky topic for me. But because I am who I am, I created a point system for every blood veil or every blood code, and ironically enough, Ishtar came out at the top as being the best out of the game on my arbitrary crappy point system that I put together. So kind of interesting that an unbiased point system actually drew Ishtar to the top. Anyways, go ahead, Pseudo. What were you gonna say?
You're too analytical, Owen. You're far too analytical. Which one just makes you feel like a badass? That's the real question we need answers for.
And that's not me.
You did answer it. You answered correctly. The only correct answer is Ishtar.
Well, that's what the spreadsheet told me.
Ishtar's Deliverance with Cleansing Light is so stupidly OP. If you are completely solo without partners or without other players helping you out, I'd have to say Eos or Harmonia or Perseus. Like, those three are all really good for different reasons. Actually, more Perseus than Harmonia. I just really like casting blood codes. So the fact that Perseus is such a casting blood code you can't wield the pipe, that makes me smile.
Perseus
you're
is
only one
definitely
strength
an
away.
interesting one.
Exactly. But Eos is good for most other situations. It can have bridge, it can have cleansing light. It's usually what I go with whenever I'm fighting Mido or Blade Bearer and Cannoneer, just because it has basically everything you need without any passives. You got Elemental Wall. You can get all the other resistance gifts. You can get Cleansing Light ridiculously easily as well. You've got Bridge. Bridge is great. Like it's Aeos is a really good one.
Yeah,
And
you don't
realize
realize how much you rely on bridge or on EOS until successive playthroughs of the game where you're like, where's that gift? Oh, it's from EOS. Where's that gift? Oh, it's from EOS. Where's that gift? Oh, it's from EOS. And you're like, wait a minute, why don't I just equip EOS and use everything? It's a really good blood code.
You don't realize how much you depend on EOS as well. Once the barrage got nerfed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was such a sad day. that was definitely a downer for sure. They've put some mods out there that actually brought back
Yes.
the multipliers for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we have mods that bring back the barrage multiplier. Also, bring back the old final journey.
Oh yeah, the length of time.
Old Final Journey.
Yeah, that was 3 minutes.
Once upon
Yeah,
a time, where it was busted.
that was so busted.
And the thing about Final Journey is that at the 3-minute mark, if you were playing with a partner and if you were playing with White Mia and a friend and you all used gift extension, that would be almost at 10 minutes long, which is almost enough time to actually run an entire area with all of that buff going.
That would be crazy.
Oh my!
That's right, because it stacks, doesn't it?
Yep, it's multiplicative time, so it's crazy.
Get out of here.
It's really really stupid. So actually, what would that be? 180 seconds times 3.375. So that'd be that's just over 10 minutes. Just over 10 minutes.
Megatech's got another good suggestion. Heimdall. Heimdall is what let me beat the game with a concrete club. So Heimdall does get special recognition. It's like Power Within from Dark Souls 1. It's almost exactly like Power Within, only no super stamina. Oh, no, you don't get super stamina recovery, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
That's one of the reasons why original.
That was close enough, though.
Yeah, it's close enough. It's still a solid chunk of damage and slowly kills you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Scrambled is asking, do you have any tips on how to tackle DLC areas and bosses? Well, all of the DLCs are a New Game Plus cycle beyond your current one. So if you're on base game difficulty, they'll be at New Game Plus 1. If you're at New Game Plus 1, they'll be at New Game Plus 2, and so on and so on and so on. So each of the bosses has a rock, paper, scissors style of weakness, where Hellfire Knight's weak to lightning, Frozen Empress is weak to fire, Lord of Thunder is weak to ice. So it really just depends which one you want to knock out first. Usually the recommended one is Hellfire Knight, just because you get a lot of really good lightning gifts in the base game. So it's taking him down is relatively easy. Plus he makes knocking out Frozen Empress a walk in the park.
Yeah, very true.
To answer the old question on the code, mine just Orion, no matter what.
Orion?
Just generate for bayonets. Just give me a lost bayonet and call it a day. I'll be fine.
I'll take the Thunderbolt. and call it a day. That's my favorite Bayonet. It's so good. I love it. Anyways, when you guys first got into the game, was the gifting system like a little overwhelming, or was it easy to understand, or was it really complicated and convoluted, or would you have kept it how it is, or would you have changed it in some way?
I thought it was going to be kind of a huge pain in the butt because I remembered back to casting in the original Xbox Fable. That was a mess. You only had 3 buttons that you could cast with and like 15 different spells. So you had to set up a rotation button that would cycle through different sets of 3. It was just an absolute mess. So just having only 8 actives, and that's it, that's all you get, was perfect. For the mixing and matching, I didn't struggle with it too much. What about you, C?
First half, when I booted the game up and I see 8 slots, I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do with 8 attunement slots? And then 5 days later, I was like, oh, that's why. And then the buff stacking began.
Yes,
Yeah.
the buff stacking.
That's when it gets out of control. When you start realizing their interactions. Yeah. Oh man. That is good stuff. Yeah, I was so overwhelmed when I first looked at it. I was like, what do I push and when? And because it was on the keyboard, I had to figure out like 1 corresponded to which slot on the 8 slots, and where was number 5, and when did the transition happen from the 4 to 5, and where did that map to? Because there was no like legend, whereas on like controller, I think you can push a button and it highlights all 8, and then it shows you the map prompts. But I didn't have that because it's literally like if you push one of the buttons, one of the 1 through 8 buttons, then it highlights it, but you have to hold it down, and I didn't know that at the time. And so
really?
Yeah, I had to like just map them in my mind, like 1 is this slot, okay, which one highlighted, and then I'd put it in the next slot down, and then I'd try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So that was really hard at the beginning to try and find where the 8 slots actually corresponded on the keyboard.
Shout outs to all the keyboard and mouse warriors out there. You guys are a whole different breed of gamer. I couldn't do it. I don't think I could play Code Vein on mouse and keyboard.
You guys can't?
It's something you get used to.
Everyone could.
It's something you get used to?
Yeah.
That just what you described sounds like pure insanity.
It is.
Oh, I'm insane, yes. I admit that.
You and me, see.
No,
I guess it's just
honestly,
you and me.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
I've always
Yes,
been on
also,
mouse and keyboard, so.
About that 1 to 8 Owen used. Yeah, I still use that to this day.
Oh really? Yeah, my
Great.
mind got used to it, and that's all I know now. Like I don't actually even think about it. The hard one I have a problem with is going to number 8. So I usually put gift extension in that position because I'm not using it very much, or cleansing light, or some of those longer gifts that are in the 1 to 3 minute range. I put it on the farthest away from my pointer finger, so I don't have to use it very often. So did you guys, when you had the game, did you actually finish the 400 Marks of Honor before the Tower of Trials patch was introduced into the game, or did you finish it after the Tower of Trials? Because that's kind of a line in the sand that showed like how committed somebody was before the Tower of Trials, and then how angry everyone was after the Tower of Trials happened.
Oh no. I remember grinding Silent White with randoms. That was an interesting week of my life.
We don't. Well, goodness me. Your kids are having fun, Owen.
Oh yeah, they're up way past their bedtime here, so it's okay. They're having fun.
A lot of fun. Anyways, I I hesitated on the grinding. So what I did was I choose suffering and grinded on Towers of Trials too.
Oh, see, I finished the 400 marks before the Tower of Trials, so that's why when I started the Road to 100, I was already like 20 playthroughs deep because I didn't actually grind anything. I actually played through the game with friends, getting Marks of Honor on the story bosses. So it was literally 400 bosses through the game. And then I did some farming, like I think it was like maybe 50 marks or something, because you get 3 every playthrough, so that's 60 right there, and then there's 17 bosses per playthrough, so that's 340, and then the 60, and that's 400. So I went through the entire game 20 times, and so you guys saw me when the Road to 100 started at 20 star, and that's exactly why I was already at 20 star.
Oh, that's why.
Yep.
Wait. Time out. You get 3? Okay, I know about the one in the government bunker, and I know about the one in the cathedral. Where's the third one?
So there's 2 in the government center.
Oh, there's 2 of them in the government center.
Yeah. There's one in a hidden hallway, and then there's one. So at the beginning missile, if you turn around and then there's the Cerberus trooper right there, you follow that path around and you get one going that direction. And then if you go through the main line, there's after the fat mama thickums after the bridge, with the the 2 bayonet tiers. Then there's 2 Cerberus troopers, and you take a left, and then there's one hidden there.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I didn't realize there was another one near the entrance.
Yeah. And so you can also get random chances right on the different Black Knights, the Black
Cerberus.
Hunters, and some of the Cerberus troopers. So you can get it before 20 star, but that is the minimum amount. If you do every boss with a friend and every run, and then you get the 3 that are in the game, then you can get it in 20 runs. So anyways,
wow,
just more fun things to know about Marks of Honor that you never wanted to know. What was that,
Hey.
C?
No, I'm just saying I'm more crying on grinding.
Look, I'm thrilled to be an unfailing savior, especially with cleansing light and deliverance going. I am an unfailing savior, except for lag spikes and gravity. I can't save you from that.
Gravity. That is the unforgiving killer.
The
Absolutely.
great equalizer. Doesn't care what kind of
Oh,
gifts
yeah.
your partner has.
About talking about gravity. So you know how like NPC can push you a little, right? When
Yeah.
they walk. So at that point, I was AFK near a ledge with Jack in the memory,
Oh no.
Oh no.
and Jack. Yes.
No.
Yes, that's exactly what
Jack is
happened.
the worst partner. It's confirmed. He kills the player twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the real boss you have to fight.
I was speechless. I was like, he pushed me off, right? And while I was falling, he said, "Damn it!" I was like, "Excuse me, what?"
I didn't push him off properly. They're just gonna come back.
Oh man.
I gotta shoot him and make him fall.
So that's why Jack kills us in the end. It's confirmed that C was the reason Jack wanted to kill us in the first place. He had a bad experience
It's
once.
Please don't tell me.
Unconfirmed
Thanks,
lore.
Steve.
Oh man.
Please don't sue me, guys. Please don't.
If that comes in Code Vein 2 as a lore piece, as an Easter egg, I'm gonna love that. That would be amazing. Jack apologizing for killing you or something. Oh man.
They could.
So
Watch you
was
fall on the ledge.
Code Vein very difficult on your first playthrough, or did you do a lot of co-op and or partner AIs, and so you didn't really feel any difficulty spikes, or how did that go for you guys?
It was my very first run was level 1, so it was difficult in that regards. Pretty much everything would one-shot me. However, I was also doing it with an AI partner, which made it significantly easier. In fact, I really only started doing it level 1 just to spite somebody who kept telling me to level up. And so I was like, all right, fine, we're not leveling up now. I mean, it was difficult, sure, but it wasn't overwhelmingly difficult. Logan King also asked a really good question that I want to come back to whenever we finish up this one.
Sure. See, was Code Vein difficult for you your first time?
Partnering up with Jeff is difficult. Otherwise, no.
He is a zoomy boy, that's for sure. That he is a very fast.
He gave me.
Yeah. I hear those scars, absolutely.
That stupid Grave Knocker, I swear. He just spams Grave Knocker over and over. I hate it.
I just want to tell him, like, use your sword, man. You have one of the really good swords in the game. Just use that. Like, you don't need to use these other dumb gifts that don't do anything. Like, yeah. Seriously. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
But no, Logan King was asking, what was one unique aspect of Code Vein compared to similar aspects of Souls-likes? I actually wanted to mention the combo attack system. The fact that you can change your weak and heavy attacks with just a press of one button really, really opens up stuff. Like your combo weak attacks, your launch attacks, your combo drain attacks. It was amazing. In Dark Souls 3, you're able to change what kind of heavy attack you do after a roll. Basically, you have a standing heavy attack, and then you have a rolling heavy attack, which is just the second follow-up heavy attack. Yeah. But it only happens after you roll, so it's outrageously predictable. The fact that you can just kind of change up moves on the fly, you can spam all 3 swings of your weak attack combo, you can poke once with a spear and then do the combo weak attack to knock enemies down. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. And that's always what I try and tell new people about, is that the combo system is crazy effective, and you should try to, if not like become a pro at it, but definitely experiment with it a little. And it's not very well described in the game either, which is a missed opportunity in my opinion.
There is a lot of tutorial though, like all these screens popping up in the underground.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Can you imagine then people saying like, oh, you know, here's E, or here's this button for regeneration, and then switch up items, and then did you know that you have a focus bar that nobody understands until their 6th playthrough, and you know, did you notice this, and did you notice that, and look over there and look at this, and then Louis telling you look at everything in the background. And then can you imagine, like, if you push this, and then if you push it twice and 3 times, and then alternate with the, you know, left and right mouse button, and then, you know, into a combo drain, like, people's brains on their first playthrough would absolutely explode.
Yeah, I guess the alternative of, like, the early 2000s era forced tutorial. Yeah, I guess just having some information slip through the cracks is better in hindsight.
They do give you the speed bag though at home base, right? So you can play to your heart's content, which is really nice that they actually have a training area like that. And it's nice that they have 2 training areas, one with an enemy that you can characterize weaknesses, and then another one with a training area where it has no weaknesses, so it's all just flat damage, right? I think that was one of the best things they introduced. Was that you actually have a place where you can be creative and understand what you're actually playing.
Yeah.
Definitely. And what? Let me find the question here. What was the most favorite aspect of Code Vein compared to similar aspects of Souls-likes? So, what I really enjoyed, because I'm playing the first 3 episodes there of Dark Souls with you guys, and playing Neo 2 and all of that, and then playing Darksiders 3 and stuff, I really enjoy the idea of gifts and the fact that you're not locked into only a physical weapon or some really horrible, janky throw animation of an item like a bomb or something like that. But they're fluid, they're quick, they can cast quickly, and you can speed up the casting, so you can play at whatever level of speed you like to play. You can take it very slow, you can take it very fast, you can take it very interactive, very hands off at a distance. You can play very up in the enemy's face. You can play very kind of mid-range with bayonets and casting. And I think that that unique ability to play to your personal play style is not present in really, at least Dark Souls 1 from what I saw, and definitely not in Neo 2 from the punishment I was handed when I played. What do you guys think? Is that fair, or is that kind of off in left field? See, you would know more from the Dark Souls perspective.
For my 2 cents, it's kind of like comparing Dark Souls to Sekiro. Sekiro, there's only one way to play it, and that's the way that the developers intended. For Dark Souls, there's just a multitude of different ways to play it.
That's fair. So on a scale of 1 to 100, that's completely arbitrary scale. How would you rate Vane's difficulty? Like, do you think that the difficulty was actually like realistic for the different levels of stars of difficulty, or the first playthrough, or the leveling system in combination with how you actually engage with the game? Do you think they were on par with each other, or were they something that the difficulty and the combat didn't really actually match up?
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Do you want me to repeat that?
I'm just giving
Exactly.
I'm giving C an opportunity to answer.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. I went to the toilet.
Oh no, you're fine. You're completely fine.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
I mean,
about it.
I
We've been going
can't
for a
go to the
while.
toilet.
That's cool. You can leave us out here. I'm perfectly okay just jawing away with Owen while we wait for your triumphant return. I hope your go was pleasant and relieving.
At least there's no Jack to push me into the toilet.
and
he would.
Hopefully it doesn't remind you of Operation Queenslayer. Anyways, how would you guys rate Vane's difficulty? Was it comparable to actually being useful of a difficulty, or was it too much or too little?
Yeah, I'd say 7 out of 10. Some bosses' designs are questionable at best, but the rest are fine.
Pseudo?
I'd put it about 2/3 up the scale. I'd put it as a 66 out of 100. If you've never played a Souls-like before, Code Vein is a harsh slap in the face compared to like some of the stylish button masher games. But so for somebody who's more experienced with the deliberate committal attacks and stamina management, it's actually really not that bad. Like the healing is slow, yes, but that just means you have to pick your openings carefully. Like you can't just get hit and immediately heal, which is a trap that some of the early Dark Souls games bring you into. The moment you get smacked, you heal quickly before the boss can follow up. No, Code Vein has bosses that will chase you down deliberately to get you. So you kind of got to be a little bit smart. You have to pick your openings very carefully.
Yeah, I think for me it's differentiated between like first playthrough and successive playthroughs, and then into the higher difficulties. So I think for the first playthrough, however you choose to do it, just the learning curve is what you're battling. And I think it's probably, yeah, I would say 7, maybe an 8 out of 10, just because of the fact that you're not really understanding what's happening, and then your learning really happens in playthrough 2 and beyond. And then it kind of drops in difficulty, probably down to a 6, I would say, in the successive playthroughs, because you have more gifts available, you have more time to experiment, you've got all the partners available to you, so you can use them, you know, at different points in time where you couldn't use them in the first playthrough. And then it really drops off when you get every single code, and you get up to level 300, and then it really drops down to like probably a 3 or a 4 difficulty out of like a 30, maybe even a 25 out of 100, just because it's just so different, as compared to your first couple of playthroughs. And I think that's the nice thing about it, is that the difficulty can drop off if you've actually learned in your first set of playthroughs. Then it really does get a lot easier, which is nice, because constant exposure to the game should allow you to use your knowledge and use your playthrough and your experience to actually get better at the game, instead of just, yep, it's just that hard, there's nothing you can do about it, and then it's always just going to be that hard. Like it really does reward exposure, and I'm thankful for that. I might be in a minority on that, but I definitely think that's a good aspect of the difficulty.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, speaking from secondhand experience, my girlfriend who plays a lot of Genshin and Honkai, which ended up with her button mashing, coming to Code Vein was not a pleasant time, really.
Oh my goodness.
Consists of a lot of reaching.
Yeah, that would definitely be a handicap for sure, coming from Genshin into Code Vein and never had played something like it. Oh my goodness. That would definitely do it.
Oh, it was rough. Anyways, for
I'm
some
sure you guys
reason,
try 'em.
every time Louis talks, she would scream, "Shut up, Zhongli!" It was-
Does anybody
Wobble,
hear
wobble.
about my dark and tragic backstory? No, Louis. We've heard it before.
Oh, Louis.
But
I
I'm
don't want that.
so
I don't want
brooding.
He's
Nobody
a-
knows
Yeah.
the pain I feel.
He's an edgy teenager that
No.
turned into a revenant at a wrong time and never actually grew out of
Don't be
it.
hard on him. He's 16. He's in the phase.
It's not a phase. It's not a phase. He's a vampire forever. It's not a phase. Oh God, no.
He's done. Sorry, Louis. We'll see you in Code Vein 2 probably. So good luck. Good luck with your life.
See, now,
Let's stop here before Pseudo die.
Yeah, please don't die, Sio.
God.
We need you. We need you.
That reminds me of a really, really, really good poll that you wrote. Like, should Code Vein 2 have new characters or keep the old ones? And I kind of feel like having the characters from the first game just kind of like hang out at home base would be a good thing, and just have it started with brand new characters. Like, keep them around, but not make them the focus anymore, because I swear to God, I got so tired of listening to Louis. I got so tired of listening to him.
Up for ambush. Oh my God.
Well, see, and
Anyway,
then
so
and then they came to that realization, and then they were like, "Oh, you can turn off their character voices if you really don't like them." Because I remember when that came out, and everybody was like,
Me
that was
too.
all over their reviews, like, "Look at Louis, and look at this, and look at that, look at this, look at that." People would make these montages of just Louis talking, and then they were like, "Okay, we'll let you turn off their comments if you want to." I always left it on because I thought it was nice to have them talking, but that was just me.
Oh yeah, it was one of the highlights. I kind of liked how Mia would tease you about picking up everything, but when Yakumo when Yakumo's like, maybe we should come back again whenever we're a little bit more powerful. Shut up, Yakumo. I'm doing it at level 1 for a reason. Can it? I got fed up with Yakumo. I got fed up with him not healing me and then telling me we need to get better.
Or change your build. Hey, maybe your equipment's not cutting it. It's like, dude, you're the one that wasn't helping.
Yeah, it's your reason you spammed your tormenting blast so hard you couldn't heal me. You great big smelly himbo. Yakumo's great, but he's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's so stupid.
Especially on the harder difficulties.
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh god, I dread to think about Yakumo on a higher difficulty.
He really just tickles the enemy and makes them angry, and then he just dodges for like an hour, and he gets stuck in that loop, and they can't hit him obviously, but he just becomes useless after a while. And it's like, dude, you were so good in 0-star first playthrough, and now you're like never picked up and used again. Why? Oh man. But folks, for you guys, what was the motivation to complete Vayne more than once after the initial playthrough? Like the game had that much appeal that you would actually
a challenge. Sorry.
Oh, the challenge? Sorry?
Yes, and suffering.
Oh, the suffering. That's a good reason to come back to it. Definitely a good reason. For me, it was the gift system. It just always had to, you know, think about what was active, what was not active, what was, you know, combining with other things, and that really, you know, made it really intriguing to me, and that's why I just had to keep coming back. Pseudo, for you?
I guess kind of similar, but with a different thing. Like I originally went through the game to get every ending, and then I went through it a 4th time to prove Reddit wrong. And Reddit was right, as they usually are, unfortunately, as much as you hate it. And then I decided just to start doing self-imposed challenges. The very first one was a solo run, where that was the only restriction, and then I started to get more and more elaborate challenge runs, and I just started really enjoying them. Until I got to the casting only and concrete club challenges. Those were not so much fun, but I still suffered through them. And I still beat them. And I still got a huge list of them to go as well.
Yeah, you need to go through those faster. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
just kidding.
Come on, man.
You need a full-time streamer, Twitch, 8 hours a day. You know, you have your food.
10 hours a day.
Yeah, if you have your food pumped into your veins, like you can do it. You can do it.
Just live off Hot Pockets. Don't even heat them up.
That's right.
You don't have time to heat them up.
I think if you do that though, you have to.
Pockets.
Yeah, I think if you do that though, you have to like constantly get used to the idea of saying like, you know, subscribe and pay me money like all the time, right?
No thanks. No thank you. I'm a dinosaur from the early days of YouTube before those 3 evil words. Oh, I guess 4 if you count the the conjunction. But I remember a day before those 4 words happened, and it was a beautiful day on YouTube.
What was that, C?
No, I'm just parroting Pseudo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
On
the floor. Everyone do the dinosaur. Everyone do the dinosaur.
See, what'd you say, C, about a playthrough?
No, I'm just saying about players' reaction with partners. I think I found the perfect picture. I'm just gonna send it in the channel.
Oh.
Boy!
It's a picture of President Biden saying, "Will you shut up, man?" I think that's definitely funny.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Oh man. So if you did co-op when you played through the game, did you play with partners, like AI partners only, or did you play with co-op people, or did you play with both? Which did you find more enjoyable?
AI partners definitely make it really, really easy because it's pretty difficult for them to fail. Yakumo notwithstanding. I've met my fair share of people who would I help them struggle through the cathedral, and then they'd kick me out right before the boss because they wanted to reset their heals, and that drove me up a wall. I've actually run into a handful of people that would yell at me for not reviving them when they wouldn't carry restorative offering themselves, and I'm like, dude, hello, help me out here.
Yeah, that is definitely bad.
Help me help you.
Something like product offering.
Yeah, that is a very 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 annoying when it's like, hey, we're playing through an area, and then the whole point of getting co-op going is for those marks of honor, and then to kick someone right before the boss when you get the bonus of being partners.
Mark of honor, yeah.
Yeah, it's like why would you even call me then? Like, oh,
They're lost in the cathedral. That's why.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Look up playthroughs.
Look up playthroughs.
But no, oh, right, to find their way through the cathedral.
Yeah.
But
I always got so excited when people would call and I would get to lead them through the cathedral. I always was so excited about that. I was like, yes, I actually get to feel like I'm helping someone.
I'll never forget the poor sap who ran past the lever to the ladder in the cathedral.
Oh.
That takes you to the gated room checkpoint, and I was like, "No, go back! No, go back! No, go! All right, well, I guess we're gonna loop around again." That poor guy. I sent him a message. I was like, "Dude, you have to pull both levers."
What a mistake! That definitely is painful to learn. Yeah, co-op sometimes gets really out of hand when you're playing with regular people. And then it's fairly predictable though when you play with an AI partner. It seems like they actually play in a pretty predictable manner. You can fairly count on them to be acting a certain way, but just the heals are really unpredictable because if they're in like a blocking animation, they may or may not get the restorative offering off. If they're in any kind of dodge roll loop, then you're just done. You won't get it. And if they're in any kind of like stagger state, you're also done. So it is pretty hit or miss here and there.
And you can't forget if they're out of Ichor as well. That's one of the reasons why Yakumo sucks at healing so much. Is He's got his own Ichor pool, and he spins it all on his stupid attack
all the time. Go ahead.
Yeah, he just drifts around.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, one of my co-op experience, one of the more memorable ones, was me with Orion using Libertador, and I get this question: can you be a tank? Do I look like
tank? Of course you can be a tank. Get up there.
Be a tank with the Libertador? Yeah. Steady bulwark, I guess, and that's about it.
Yo,
reversal.
Hey, no, you can be DPS even better. You can
guard
be
reversal.
Tank. You just go up there with the quick pokes. Step poke. That's how I killed Vito with a +6 Rubelite Piercer. It's just a lot of step poke. Yeah, I did because I was an idiot.
That was during the blood only challenge.
It was +6. Yeah, I didn't realize it was only +6. I thought it was +9.
Yeah, I think you were doing like 300 damage or whatever, and he's got like 45,000 HP, so it's like 150 pokes or whatever before you actually get him killed.
No, I think it was closer to about 75. 100 was the max.
Oh, geez. Never mind.
Yeah, it was painful. It was really painful.
I remember that was like a 12-hour stream or something ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was the 400 subscriber special stream.
Good
it was
grief.
A lot of fun. That I also learned that YouTube has a cutoff limit for stream length. You can continue to stream, but it will only archive 11 hours and 54 minutes and 59 seconds.
Really?
No.
Really? Yeah. So about 10 minutes of the challenge got cut off, but I didn't really do much I just died and then reclaimed my haze and then died and then reclaimed my haze a few times more.
Well, that's good to know
I
for
could
this
go in
stream
that
then.
hole again. Maybe.
What? No, no, I didn't schedule that much time. Owen, let me see. No.
No. So what were your first expectations of Code Vein? Like when you saw it being advertised, were you expecting something that would really grab you and keep you for a long time, or was this something that you thought you would write off in a little bit?
I kind of sort of wrote it off initially. I was like, "Oh, this isn't Dark Souls. Why the hell would I care about it?" And then as I played more about it, I'm like, "Okay, I can get behind this. I really enjoy this game." Then it became an obsession, and I can't stop playing. Honestly, I never expected for me to be this invested in it. But then again, I didn't really expect myself to be a pioneer of really stupid challenge runs. Although I'm starting to lose that crown thanks to Owen's most recent undertaking. Spoilers, go.
No, you're not losing any kind of
check.
crowns. I think you have like what 48 something challenge runs or whatever that you've got going, so it's ridiculous. You're not gonna lose that crown.
But your most recent undertaking is too insane even for me. I'll let the record show that
Now I'm really interested in trying it out myself.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourself.
Look,
Don't do it.
Look, I did Blade Bearer and Cannoneer on level 1 with a Dark Seeker poison only build. Okay, I'll be fine.
It's way worse than that. I don't know if I'll actually be able to beat
way worse
them.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So I mean, yeah. I don't want to say much more about it. You'll understand on Monday. Monday will come out episode 1, and you guys will get to see just how ridiculous it's gonna be. So, oh man! But Pseudo's gonna have his own variants of it, so there will be plenty of it out there. So see if you do feel like a good challenge run, as well as anybody else. I think this will be. It might actually be harder than SL1 for the Dark Souls crowd. It might be harder. I'm not exactly sure, but I can't compare because there's no like actual point system or something, or like a grading system for challenges. But this is definitely going to be up there for everyone. So stay tuned for Monday. Episode 1 comes, and yeah, you'll appreciate the game in a whole different way.
Life.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll appreciate live insanity. This one doesn't achieve anything. You only lose yourself in it.
Yes, absolutely. It will be.
Yeah.
It will be that. I've already started losing myself in it, and just trying to theory craft my way out of it, and it's actually coming up against against a hard wall. But yeah, we'll all embark on that journey with Charlene again. She comes back for her return to one of the most difficult challenges, if not the most difficult challenge, at least for Code Vein, and comparatively so for a lot of the Souls types out there. So we'll be on a real journey for that. So when you guys played Code Vein, was it ever recommended to you, or did you just by chance happen upon it? Or were you prepared for it coming out? Was it something that, you actually actively sought out?
Wait,
For me,
ask this already?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, didn't we ask this already, or am I remembering wrong?
Well, I mean, we kind of talked to it a sort of a bit, but I'm just curious, like if it was actually like a super planned. I'm going to buy this. Pseudo kind of talked to it already that yes, he was going to buy it, and but I was just curious for UC.
Yeah. Do I look like a guy with a plan?
He's
Yeah,
got you there.
yep. That's okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
Yeah. That's literally my response. That's literally nothing back about it.
Ooh, I
Logan
like the
King,
suggestion.
Logan King, no upgrades, no partner, base blood codes only. That's definitely a challenge run. I guess Pseudo mark that down.
I'm doing it,
uh,
boss.
but I'll leave that to you if that's something you definitely want to consider. But any criticism for Code Vein? Death Killer's asking. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to answer that one. I wanted to answer that one.
there's all kinds of criticism. I mean, there is tons and tons of criticism that you can level at the game, and most of them, honestly, they are warranted. I mean, they're very fair, and they're very understandable. But that before the criticisms, I just want to say that a lot of the criticisms that folks bring up about Code Vein, that is kind of the cultish charm, I guess you could say, of Code Vein, is the fact that it does have these weird little inconsistencies all throughout the game that actually either do or don't make sense, that lead to a lot of frustration and a lot of problems. But anyways, go ahead, Pseudo. I leave it to you to level some criticism, if you will. I'll be right back in just a second, so keep going.
Okay, yeah, sure. So one of the biggest criticisms I have is more towards the weapon varieties. They are very, very cut and dry. There aren't very many weapons that kind of blur the lines between the two categories. Like, you don't have a hammer that acts more like a halberd, or you don't have a bayonet that acts like a one-handed sword, unless you count the Riot Breaker. But as for the game itself, the major criticism that I hear an awful lot about is about the DLCs, but we've pretty much already talked about that. My own personal criticisms: you can't have weird skin tones. I want to have neon green skin. Same for the body types. You can only be muscular or scrawny. You can't be fat. I want to be bright green and fat. So basically, I want to make Shrek. Also,
Going back to Dark Souls customization.
well, the customer characterization is really good, but there's still more that I want from it. Like, I was upset that my
The weirder
All
the
Might,
better.
yeah, my All Might character had the wrong colored boots, and it drove me insane to no end. But you don't have office clothes. You don't have like a suit and tie, or you can't make an office lady.
They ran out of office clothes, suits and things, because they gave them all to Jack and Louie for the DLCs.
Because of their goddamn fetishes. God damn it.
I wanted to have Office Lady Shrek, okay? Don't you dare judge me. That's my one criticism for the game. I wanted to have.
I'm not sure if it's a nightmare fuel or is a good idea. I'm torn.
It's both. It's both. The best things in life are both.
Is it a nightmare fuel or is it a good idea? Yes.
Yep, just do it. Just do it. That's all you need.
Give us the freedom. One of my favorite characters I made in any of the Souls game was a very unconvincing transvestite in Dark Souls 3. Had a beard, had bleach blonde hair, had the old lady voice, which whenever you use the call out gesture, totally sounds like a dude. So here I was invading people, going, "Hey!"
I bet that would definitely throw people off.
Oh yeah. It was just for the memes. It was just for my own amusement. It was a terrible character. I died so frequently, but the fact that you'd be invaded by somebody named "No, I'm totally a woman," and then get met with that abomination.
I'm sure there's worse that people have met with, so I can't imagine that would be anything too off-putting, but it definitely would probably raise some eyebrows of, huh? What was that? Can I see that again, please? Yeah,
No, this is Dark Souls
You're
we're talking
enjoying
about.
Bloodborne,
They'd
dude.
kill me first,
that's
and then call me a
probably
scrub.
fair.
Ooh, yeah. Point
See,
down, point down, point down. Ooh, shut up,
Point
man.
down. Point down. Point down. Yeah. Point down. Well, what is it? Point down.
No, yeah.
Ugh.
yeah, I didn't have
Uh,
that pleasure of Dark Souls getting invaded and everybody killing me like mercilessly. So
You're better off.
yeah,
Really?
I agree. I agree.
You're better off. Anyways, Pseudo, did you ever complete the Dark Souls 3?
I beat the base game and I beat Ashes of Ariandel, but I never beat Ringed City. I bought it, but I had half an idea that I would go through it with a friend, and then it just
You
never
missed out.
happened.
On like what,
Eh.
PC or is it on?
It was on
Xbox?
Xbox. It was on Xbox.
Oh, I see.
Honestly, after Sister Freed and Ashes of Ariandel, no thank you. No thank you. I'm pretty much done
Oh,
with Dark
man.
Souls 3.
You know that Sister Freed and Lauren was actually like two of the hardest boss, and the rest are. It's more of a send off in the Ring City.
Okay, gotcha. I'm still not gonna pick it up. I'm done with Dark Souls. I've got a new obsession. Thank you.
and I agree. Why wouldn't I agree? Code Vein is the best game, right?
We are slightly biased. We
uh,
are slightly biased.
Yeah, very biased. I'm very biased. I am like, I have an IV of Code Vein that pumps into my blood every night. So
Yeah, yeah. Also, Pseudo, the
Oh,
other day I was bored, so I did Sister Frida at SL1 with no shields.
Madness, I say. I struggled to
What do
kill
you
her.
mean?
and did you
I struggled
complete
to
it?
kill her at level
You can carry
50.
her. Of course, I did. Of course, I did the whole thing with SL1. Of course.
Just
Yeah,
crazy. See,
that's not too
the skill
outrageous.
the skill that you have in Dark Souls, it definitely needs to be shared with the world for sure. Definitely needs to be shared. But I understand. But it's amazing.
I'm not going to upload myself falling into a hole for the 10th time, okay?
Why not? That also needs to be
Oh,
shared
yeah.
with the world.
That's maybe enough.
Is that a reference to Madeir? Because don't you fall in a hole for that fight?
Yes. Easy. It's easy. As much as a controversy the boss was, as much as everyone say it's hard, I say it's easy.
That's one of the interesting things about Souls likes is that some bosses are ridiculously easy for some people, and some are much harder for others. Like I can't explain why, but Virginborn in Code Vein hardly ever gives me any trouble. She's it's really nice to me, but everybody else really struggles with Virginborn, and I can't understand.
Oh yeah, and
Slave
like
Knight Gale.
like I actually struggle
No, we're
really
still sticking with
hard
Code Vein.
versus the Hellfire Knight. He really does
Sorry,
get me
guys,
every
I gotta
time.
go.
All right, see, thanks a lot, and take care.
I have a class to attend. Sorry, guys.
Okay, not
Yeah,
a
it was
problem.
fun.
It was
See you
great
next time.
having you. Thanks for staying.
Alright, see ya.
Bye. And yeah, for me, the Hellfire Knight definitely Pseudo was one of them that I just really struggle with. But Red Army 313, like he always is just pro. He does every fight, like he never gets hit. He's always got enough iCore. He's always on his toes. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I'm like, man, why can't I do that? And but then other bosses, like I completely destroy them. And so it's like, some bosses just really change up your play style, your understanding, and your interactions. So I completely agree with that and understand for sure.
Death Killer says he wants to be a part of the next Codecast. This
Okay.
guy.
Okay, well, I mean, if he's got something great
Okay.
to say, then excellent. But he does have homework to do, so we'll see about that. But he did have a good question here that why, and probably what would you recommend Code Vein to new players? I'll let you go
I saw that
first,
one.
Pseudo.
Um, I would say to new players, it is a perfect introductory Souls-like. If you have never, if you think that Dark Souls games are too hard for you, try out Code Vein with a partner, with an AI partner at the very least. The AI partner is very capable, which is a rarity in video games. Having a capable AI partner to help you along is a huge, huge benefit. And then if you want to get stuck in with some more of the deeper, more esoteric stuff, then by all means, that'll set you down the Souls-like rabbit hole. A lot of action RPGs are pretty one-dimensional. You get the best thing that's very clearly meant to counter a given boss, and then you're set. Whereas with Souls-likes, you kind of have to get creative and put the pieces together yourself. It's not going to be like, this is the boss that kills giant dragons. Now there's a giant dragon boss. What are the odds? So, Code Vein is perfect for people who've never played a Souls-like before.
Yeah, I can really attest to that too, just because of the fact that I never played anything, and then I played Code Vein, and then I went to Dark Souls 1, and then I went to Darksiders 3, and then I went to Dark Souls 1, and I really understood what I was doing without understanding the actual mechanics of the game, like, two-handing swords and blah blah blah, but the actual real understanding of just doing, stamina management, running around, running away, aggro ranges, resting and healing, these kinds of things. It really, really, really gave me a really good understanding of something that I didn't know anything about even before I could actually play it. So I highly agree with that it's a very, very good introductory game to the series, or the, not really the series, but more of like a genre of what all those Souls games kind of offer. I do think Code Vein still stands on its own, which is why I would still recommend it to new people, just because of the gifting system, because you can play the game in very, very different ways as compared to the Dark Souls series, where like Dark Souls 1 is very methodical and straightforward of, you swing sword, you hit enemy, don't get hit, and then that's kind of the end of the gameplay loop, right? Whereas Code Vein, like, you can play it that way, or you can play it with partners, or you can play it co-op and partners, or you can play it just co-op, no partners, or you can play it with gifts and weapons, or blood veils only, or you can really make it how you want to, and it really does have its own it really does have its own flavor to it, that it can still stand on its own 2 feet. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. Like, that's one of the good parts. It is definitely more story oriented. It's not the cryptic, you find a fragment of a headstone and you have to delve through the wiki to figure out the true meaning of what was written on there, like more of the Souls types. Yeah. But
they do hit you with some exposition pretty hard, right?
Not so much. I'd say you can skip it in Code Vein. That's the important thing. Yeah. Is that you can skip it. If you've already seen it, you can skip it. The story is actually, it's pretty spot on for like an arc in an anime. Like, what you see is what you get. It does have that kind of unique aesthetic where it is similar to anime tie-in games without being part of an anime itself. So I think that's actually a strength of it. That
interesting.
I mean, sure, it does follow a lot of the anime tropes, but it is not necessarily tied to an anime.
Right.
Yet.
Right.
They did make a manga. They did make a manga.
Yeah, but, I heard about that. I never actually got to read it. Yet. So who knows? Maybe
yeah, me neither.
maybe it'll tie into something actually later on. Wouldn't that be cool? You get like an anime series that bridges the gap between Code Vein 1 and 2, and maybe some of the God Eater series, and then the games actually pick up like the next part of the story. I'd have to definitely I'd have to definitely get that and read it. That would be really intriguing of a way to introduce Code Vein 2 if they do.
Oh
But
yeah, that'd be crazy.
I guess that'll be a topic for another time for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of lonely without C.
I know.
What do
That's
you what
that's
do, what
like
do you
three
say we put
people.
a pin in it?
Yeah, I agree. So, on that note, I definitely really want to thank you guys, both you, Pseudo, and C, for coming along here for episode 1. I really think we had a lot of fun, a lot of good conversation, a lot of good discussion points here. Thank you to everyone for coming along, hitting the like button and all that YouTube garbage. It really does help continue the awareness that of what we're doing here with Code Vein and everything. And since Pseudo and I are kind of the Batman and Robin here of Code Vein, it really does mean a lot that you guys show up. You enjoy the streams, you enjoy the challenges, you enjoy the builds, you enjoy the very very in-depth play style that both Pseudo and I offer to everyone. And so it really does mean a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Pseudo as well. And so really, really a big thank you to the community for, giving us this opportunity, because no one else is doing what we're doing. And so that's kind of neat that you guys allowed us to be in this kind of position. So many, many, many thanks for that. And definitely follow along with Pseudo on his ice only challenge. He'll be finishing that up probably in a week, I would imagine, maybe a week and a half. What do you think? Something like that?
Yeah, there's just two successors, and then the rest of the game. Usually, once all the successors are down and Bladebearer, Cannoneer, and Mito are gone, it's usually just a short jump straight to the end. I am trying to put a hurry on it so I can get started on some of the backlog of challenges that I have.
That's fair.
Particularly the true challenging, the challenge redo, the challenge, the gifts only reloaded. Hardcore gifts only, whatever.
I am very much looking forward to that. I think everybody who's watching
ready for it
and listening should absolutely be interested in that. As soon as that drops, I'll put a post out of it so we can all appreciate it for exactly what it is. So I'm very much looking forward to that for sure. And a good thank you to C as well for joining us here on episode 1. Didn't really understand what we're really going for here, but I think we're in a good position to get a second episode going. So probably this will be on a recurring basis of no real particular recurring amount of time, but it will happen. So yeah, thanks a lot, Pseudo, for joining me. Thank you to everyone else. And yeah, definitely head on over to Pseudo's channel and check him out for sure. On that note, any last things you want to talk about, Pseudo? You got any last goodbyes, thank yous, topics, plugs, anything?
Not really. Check out Challenger Andy. Check out Kondo Kazumo. Check out Red Army. Just check out all the other great Code Vein uploaders. That's all I gotta say.
I agree. I second that as well. So anyways, thank you all, and I hope you have a great day, night, lunch, dinner, nighttime, sleep, everything, whatever. And we'll see you guys having some sleep. Okay, excellent, wonderful. Have a good one, everyone, and we'll talk to you all in the next one.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.